pudding, and action.
Oh! Oh, Lord, the master's dead! He's dead, I tell you!
Tilly, calm down and tell us what happened to his lordship. Did you see who killed him?
Oh, well, I was told to rouse the Earl for dinner, and as I went in, I sees, he's dead! He's dead, I tell you!
Oh, Tilly, what did you see?
Mr. Hammersmith, can't you see she's had a terrible fright? Oh, there, my poppet, you're safe now with your mutt. Mr. Hammersmith, she needs rest.
Aye, Hammersmith, let yon lassie greet. I wager ye will find the full story from her lips. It's others that ken the dreadful secrets. We'd be well advised to wait for young one-tots to arrive, as they'll likely know the best questions to ask. When did yon inspector see he'd be arriving?
He said we were in luck as he was in the vicinity and he should be here any minute. Now, Mr. McClooney, I wonder if you'd be so kind as to greet the officer.
Aye, I'll do your job as well as my own. But never forget, I've got poodles to floss.
Mrs. Throttlesnake, a word. Where is the will?
What?
The will, Mrs. Throttlesnake. If the police should chance to find it in your quarters, it will cast deeply unwelcome aspersions upon your person, and there's still a large knife missing from the knife rack we need to talk about. We must sort all of this out before the police arrive.
The police have arrived, and they'd like to ask you a few questions. Now then, you two are Mrs. Throttlesnake, the housekeeper, and Hammersmith, the butler. And you must be the young lady that found the mangled corpse, I assume.
I rather think, Sergeant.
Inspector, in Chief Inspector Code. As in Morse.
Inspector Morse?
No. Inspector Code. Can have a copper called Morse. No. Stupid name. Code it is.
Well, Inspector, I rather think...
Oh, no. Please do not go to the trouble of thinking, Mr. Hammersmith. That's my job. Yours is simply to answer my questions when I see fit and proper to put them to you. Now, however, first I need a chat to this young lady, so perhaps you would just, cut along. Now, I need to speak to this young lady alone.
I think I should stay. She's had a terrible shock. You don't seem right to leave her just now.
Well, now, unless you're family, it's not proper police procedure. You're not family, are you?
No,
you're not family. You have to go. Do I make myself clear? Don't worry, I don't bite. Now, it's Tilly, isn't it, Tilly? It's very important that in your own time, you tell us exactly what happened here earlier.
Well, it's like this, you see. Mr. Hammersmith tells me to inquire of his lordship whether he might be ready to go to dinner. So I knocks on the doors and walks in. And he waits.
You didn't go in?
Let me know when be proper. Oh, and besides, I feel funny going into his lordship's room. Well, because sometimes, if his lordship's had large brandies, he can sometimes, get a little bit of fruity, if you know what I mean.
Unfortunately, I think I do. But anyway, then you went in.
Well, I was in time to be getting on, so I peered round the door, and he was lying on the bed, dressed in his robe. And I thought, at first he was sleeping, and then I sees that.
No, you're doing very well. Tilly, you're a very good girl. I can see that. Now, all I need you to do now is just fetch your ladyship and Miss Antonia, and then you should rest up. I won't be needing to ask you any more questions.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now, thank you for coming so promptly. First of all, may I convey my condolences to you, Lady Tittershire, at this difficult time.
First of all, my good man, you can explain why her ladyship and Antonia have been ordered to stay in their rooms like common criminals. It's an absolute disgrace. I should be speaking to your superior.
Sorry, you are...
The Honourable Algernon Bigglesworth. I'm Antonia's fiancé.
Bigglesworth, eh? Any relation to James Bigglesworth of the 14th Indian Fusiliers?
Yes, he was my father. Did you serve with him in India?
No, but I know the name. So, you're Miss Antonia's fiancé, are you? Where is she, by the way?
Sorry, Inspector. I was looking for... Oh, there you are, Algy.
Interesting. Now, but back to business. I apologise for keeping you upstairs, ladies, but it was necessary to ascertain a few facts first. First of all, I must give you your brooch back, your ladyship. Yes, here it is.
Sue, you're on mute.
Oh no, that does not belong to me.
Really?
No, it rather looks like
It's Stiffy's, Mummy.
Stiffy!
my niece, Stephanie. She's here somewhere.
No, I see. Well, I'll give it to her then when I see her. Now, I'm afraid I have to ask you a few questions, your ladyship. They may be a little upsetting, but is there anyone you would suspect of wanted to do harm to his lordship?
Well, my husband was an upstanding member of the community, a pillar of the community, and much loved by the people around here.
Look, I'm sorry, but I do need to know.
Well, he was involved in some business in London. I cannot say any more. Ask the vicar. He should be able to inform you better.
Oh, Mummy, what's happened?
How do you refer to Lord Montague at all?
Yes, it was all to do with some organisation they were involved with.
Shag, Lady Titushier?
I beg your pardon, Inspector.
Shag, the Society for Housing Afflicted Girls.
I believe so, but we refer to it as the SHAG.
Indeed. Well, just one more question I need to ask you. Who would know the contents and whereabouts of your husband's will?
Well, Solicitor Birkin and my niece. She has been his secretary for the last few years.
Right. Thank you for your ladyship. You've been most helpful. I'm sure you would like some time to collect yourself now. I shall send for you further if I need you.
Yes, Mummy. Mummy, darling, we really should take you back to your chambers now.
Yes, indeed. Good day to you, Inspector.
Not so fast, young man. Miss Antonia, after you have escorted your mother to her room, would you be so kind as to return here?
Now look here, you egregious flatfoot. I think we've had just about enough of this. If you think you can interrogate my fiancée just hours after her father has been brutally murdered, well, you can think again. I mean, what do you need to ask her, eh? Anyone would think she was a suspect, a criminal. This is outrageous. If you think you will get another word out of her unless I am here to make sure she doesn't say something to get your suspicious mind working overtime...
First of all, sir, you're not going anywhere. While these ladies take their trip back to their private quarters, you and I are going to have what I'm sure will be a very revealing little chat. Then, on Miss Antonia's return, I just need a few simple questions answered. While I respect your position, I know that as a law-abiding citizen, you'll do what's necessary to help the police with their inquiries, won't you?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm sure you did. Now, good day to your ladyship, and thank you for your help.
I apologize for my outburst. I think this evening's events has hit me worse than I thought. One should be prepared, of course, the brutal murder of one's future father-in-law. Well, you know, that's going to catch anyone out.
I couldn't help noticing, sir, that that's the second time you've used the phrase brutal murder. Might I inquire why you assume his lordship died brutally?
Did I? Well, one naturally assumes that all murder is brutal.
Oh, no, sir. All murder is regrettable, but not necessarily brutal. And as we haven't released the particulars appertaining to the manner of his death, anyone claiming to be in possession of them must either be a clairvoyant or a murderer. Are you claiming to be a clairvoyant, sir?
I sometimes get very bad déjà vu.
Seventh son of a seventh son, perhaps?
No, I'm an only child. Father was away a lot.
Yes, your father, James Bigglesworth of the 14th Indian Fusiliers, correct?
Yes, How do you know my father?
Oh, just a lucky coincidence, sir. His name has cropped up in one or two of our other investigations, but more of that later. Now, can you just run me through your movements between 6:15 and 8?
Surely, Inspector, I am not a suspect. I mean, how ridiculous. I never even met the Earl.
Aha! The Killer's Companion, Volume 2. Now, the second rule of murder. Everything is not as it seems. On completing your kill, act natural-like. And beware of the careless use of adjectives such as, oh, what a brutal murder, especially to a copper.
Well, the second rule of murder. Well, what's the first?
Not at liberty to say so, yet, as you haven't broken it. So, back to your movements earlier.
Fine. I was escorted to my room by the Scottish manservant at 6 p.m. I unpacked and then wanted to find Antonia's room. When I found it, I went in. She was in a dreadful state, having seen her father not that long beforehand, who had been most vile to her. So I comforted her. And then I was just about to leave when we heard a scream. So we, that is me, Antonia, her mother, this cousin Stiffy, the Scots fellow, and the butler all converged on his lordship's room, where we found he was dead. So the butler called your people, and then we all gathered in the family quarters until you arrived.
And how long did it take you to find your fiancé's room?
Oh, about 10 minutes. It's quite a walk from the east wing to the west. What?
But you made a leisurely amble there.
Oh, yes, there's no need for rushing.
I see. And how long have you known your young lady?
Oh, about 6 months.
And you met where?
At a society ball. I shall never forget it.
Whose ball?
Oh, it was at Lady Cavendish. Yes, Lady Cavendish at the Savoy, don't you know?
Ah, excellent timing, miss. I've just been told of your auspicious meeting.
Oh, yes, at the India Club.
Really? Not Lady Cavendish's ball?
No.
No, darling. Surely you remember we were introduced by Cecilia Cavendish at the Savoy.
No, that was a week or two later. We met at a fundraiser at the India Club. Your father's old CEO introduced us. Oh, gosh, he said we have a terrific amount in common.
Oh, yes, how silly of me. How could I forget that?
Yes, indeed. Now, Mr. Bigglesworth, can you wait in the East Wing drawing room now, please? The constable outside will show you the way.
Yes, but I really think
Now, please, sir.
Yes, of course. Now, my darling, are you sure you're going to be all right? Would you rather I'd prefer and here stay with you?
Oh, no, darling. Knowing you'll be waiting for me in the drawing room will give me all the strength that I need.
So, miss, I hear you went to see your father shortly before his demise. What did you say to him?
Well, I didn't actually see him. He was in conversation with someone, so I didn't go in. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really want to talk to him, so I thought I could leave it until later.
I see. And who was he talking to?
Do you know what? I don't know. I think he was talking on the telephone. He seemed to say the name Mortlock, but that's the local undertaker, so I suppose it must have been somebody else.
And what time was this?
About 6:15. Then I returned to my room and I wrote in my diary, and about an hour later Algy came to see me.
And in what sort of mood would you say he was in?
Oh, a fatigued one. He'd been running quite hard, I think. He does like to keep himself fit.
I see, yes. And in what state were you?
State?
Yeah, you weren't distressed in any way?
No? Why?
No matter. Well, that's all then, miss. Thank you for your frankness. My sergeant's just in the next room. Could you ask him to fetch in the vicar next, please? Oh, and ask your cousin to come and see me as soon as possible.
Yes, of course.
Ah, the Reverend Smallpiece, isn't it? Thank you for being so prompt.
Not at all. Dear me, what a dreadful business. The Lord works in mysterious ways. You'll know, you'll know, yes! You'll not want me to spout pieties at a time like this, so I'm so sorry. What can I help you with?
Yes, yes. Now, you were involved with the Earl's charity work, weren't you, I believe? The Shag.
Indeed, a most noble venture. The Earl was a fastidious patron, and he was a Scunner! Scunner! Sorry, asking a most searching question of society. How does it help the less fortunate?
Are you all right, Reverend?
Of course, just my nerves, you know. I'm on some medication for them, but I left the tablets at the vicarage. I should return soon to take it.
Of course. Well, I'll endeavour not to keep you for too long. However, I have to ask you, are you aware that we at the Yard are conducting a rather thorough investigation into the affairs of this society?
Oh, this isn't a local case for a local policeman?
Oh, no, sir.
I had heard something, but I'm just the spiritual advisor. I have no... You're lying! You're lying! God, involvement with the financial side.
Financial? Well, this is more of a moral investigation. Girls being used for improper means. Something wrong?
Oh, no, it's a problem I picked up abroad.
Yes, that can be rather nasty, can't they? Now, I've had a look at some of the documents, and there seems to be some strange anomalies. A constant stream of money going to some unusual places. Now, what does it say? Yes, 200 guineas to Madame Bouchier's Quality Lingerie. Is it the policy of the SHEG to give their girls the best in Gallic undergarments?
Oh.
Sorry, sir, what was that?
Oh, nothing. I couldn't help you with that. I don't know anything about the money.
But the checks, sir, were all signed by you.
Perhaps it was a... Jesse!
What?
Oh, it's great to see a professional at work. Yes, I probably signed something, but who can tell what? I'm a servant of God and a little unworldly in material matters.
Yes. Now, back to tonight, sir. Your movements between 6:15 and 8.
Oh, I had an interview with his lordship at around 6. I went to the library to await his further presence.
And you never left?
No, that's where I was when your sergeant told me to come in and see you.
Now, I see from my notes here, sir, that you're an Oxford fellow. What did you study?
I'm a man of the cloth. Divinity, of course.
I see. Well, it says here that you studied the sphere of study was botany, particularly Eastern botany. What was that then? Chinese orchids, Burmese flowers, Indian poisons?
Oh, good Lord, nothing like that. It was just a minor hobby.
Inspector, I was told you wanted to see me. Should I have waited?
No, that's fine. I was just finishing off with the vicar.
Oh, hello, Vicar. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Miss Chum, Sassenach Ponsonry! Oh, I'm sorry. I really must take my medication soon.
Oh, you poor thing. Shall I have Hammersmith arrange a car for you?
Well, that's all right, miss. My sergeant will accompany him to the vicarage and back.
Back, Inspector? I have to come back?
Oh, yes, sir. Just standard police procedure.
Inspector, I say, my travelling companion, Mrs. Martha Ragg, wanted to speak to you. I tried to wait, but he's very forceful. Oh, the poor man! We must get his medication to him.
Yes, indeed. Jenkins, will you escort the vicar to a more suitable location, please?
Well, I'll be a coyote sprung. Was that sickly-looking sky pilot Cedric Smallpiece?
Indeed it was, madam. You know him?
Oh, yes, our paths have crossed. And if he hadn't have been looking so close to death, I might have done for him myself, that no-good Scottish schmuck.
Oh, sorry, madam, you must have the wrong Smallpiece. That vicar's not Scottish.
Oh, yes, he is. Or was. He may have lost the accent, but I doubt he's lost his other vile habits.
Most interesting. Now, before I come to that, I must ask you a few questions. Miss, sorry, I don't know your surname.
Chumley Fanthor.
And how's that spelt?
C for Peathor, H for Heffalump, O umlaut, N for nut, D for dog, E for elephant, L for let. No.
Down,
Why?
Oh, could you start again, please?
Sorry, of course. C for Peathor, H, oh, this is silly. Here's my card.
Now I'm glad I'm sitting down. Now, miss, when did you last see your uncle?
Earlier on in the drawing room, he signed the will for me and left me to change for dinner.
And you didn't see him again?
No.
Absolutely positive. I'm sorry, Miss Stephanie, but I need to ask you some questions concerning your uncle's will. You know who the main beneficiaries are?
Yes. My aunt, my cousin Antonia. I have a small provision. Some charities close to my uncle's heart. Some of the staff here. I think the dog.
We have a company called Ming Inc.
Minging?
No, Ming Inc. A company that purports to import objets d'art from the Indies to this country.
No, I've never heard of it.
Interesting. Well, you see, the Earl seem to have invested heavily into it over the last few years. How long have you been working as his secretary?
Oh, about 18 months. But you see, I don't have much knowledge of companies and such things. I can type. I did a secretarial course at my Swiss finishing school, which was super, but I'm a bit of a duffer when it comes to anything complicated.
You see, that's what's wrong with this backward country of yours. You let poor girls like this stay uneducated and taken advantage of. And that's the rich ones. As for the poor broads, well...
I'm not here to discuss etiquette or such like, so I understand you have a copy of your uncle's will. I'd like to see it, please.
Of course. It's in my briefcase. Oh, here we go. That's funny. It's gone.
What a strange coincidence. Now, can you think of anyone who might have taken it?
Well, I suppose one of the staff might have picked it up, but...
Yes, I shall have to check. Mrs. Rank, I would like to speak to you, so please remain here. I need to speak to my sergeant, but I shall only be a few minutes.
Where's that bloody will?
Daggone it, we need it bad. Did you get him to sign?
Oh, yes, the old goat signed it, but we have to find it. I wonder which of the vultures have stolen it. We'll have to do a search. Him actually being dead shouldn't change the plan, but you never know.
Well, you take the high road and I'll take the low.
Yes, meet back here in 20 minutes. I'll think of something to say to the inspector. Oh, the whole plan ruined because of a thief. Oh, I suppose there's an irony in that. I wonder what the inspector's quizzing Mrs. Rank about. Perhaps one might throw a little suspicion in her direction. That may help. After all, better to have 2 million in the bank than 1.
Sorry, Miss Stephanie, I've looked everywhere, but there's no trace of his lordship's will.
Gertrude? What's
You, not you.